महादेव महादेव महादेव। आवाज आ रही है?
जी स्वामी जी।
ओम। ओम। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम्, यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तमहदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहिता प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम्। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतंत्र स्वतंत्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शंकराचार्य वेदांत गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनामुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिम्। मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेव यतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानाम् उपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णसन्निहितो भवेत्। अथ तृतीय वर्णकम्। Now we begin the third chapter of this text. So the first topic is Dviprakara Prapancha, the world of two types. Ayam Prapanchaha Katividaha iti chet. How many types of the world that we experience? How many types of the world is there or are there that we experience? Ayam Prapanchaha Katividaha iti chet. If this is the question, it is answered as Atma Anatma Cheti Dviprakarakaha. Atma and Anatma, the self and that what is not the self. I and that what is not I. And these are the only two points in every experience beyond which there is no experience at all. I and that what is not I. Prapanchatītasya atmanah katham prapanchantarбhutत्वमिति. So now the Purva Pakshi is asking a question that the prapancha, the world is understood as Anatma Padartha. When the question was asked as how many types of world or what is the nature of the world, instead of saying about the world, you have included even that which should not be included. What is it that should not be included in the non-self category? Obviously, the self. But you are saying the world is of two types, Atma and Anatma. So how have you brought the Atma under the umbrella of the world, under the umbrella of Prapancha? Prapanchantarabhutatvam Katham. How? So this Katham is he's not asking just a question out of curiosity, but this is also an objection. Katham, how is it possible? Kathamiti na shankitavyam. So now the teacher tells the student, iti na shankitavyam. Don't, there is no space for this doubt. But then you have to show that why there is no space for a doubt to be there. Kathamiti ched asya prapanchasya chetana chetanatmakatvad atmanashchetana rupatvad atmanam vina prapanchasya abhavad atmanaha prapanchantara bhavo vaktavyaha ev. So now he says there are two reasons. So obviously every form of doubt is just the gap of logic or explanation, and therefore, if that gap is filled through a proper logical link, now it does not remain as a doubt anymore. So there is no discrepancy then. So therefore, how is a doubt moved? That question is also answered. So doubt basically will be removed. An objection also will be removed only if it is presented with a proper, logical, coherent explanation. That is all what is required. That's why those people who are raising a hue and cry over doubt, you should not have any doubt, you should not doubt. That means you do not have any faith. Faith or no faith. If there is a doubt, the doubt has to be doused. The antidote to the doubt is not faith. The antidote to the doubt is the logic, because a doubt is something that is an impediment to knowing, not to your believing, not to your believing. You can continue to believe in spite of having a doubt, but you won't be able to know if there is a doubt. Okay. Therefore, a doubt is not against your belief. It is an impediment to the knowledge. Understand that. Otherwise, in spite of having presented with evidence, with proper logical explanation, there are people who are still fighting over whether the earth is flat. Now, if there are people who are still existing in 21st century, because they have faith, and therefore, for faith, doubt is not an impediment. That's why to make the doubt and faith stand against each other as opposites is not right. Doubt is an impediment to the process of knowledge. And therefore, in order to remove the doubt, is my voice clear to you people? The mic is a little far away. Yeah, it is happening. So the doubt will be removed only by building a proper logic. That means some form of inference needs to be established in between those 2 points where there is a seeming gap. Now, Kathamiti said, what is it that has allowed you to say that Atma can be brought under the heading of Prapancha? Okay, that Atma also can be brought under the heading of Prapancha. He gives you two answers, which means two reasons. First reason is prapanchasya, asya prapanchasya. Prapanchasya means not some paroksha prapancha and all that we are taught. Asya prapanchasya, which is experienced directly, this whole world of names and forms, men and women, huh? and and birds and animals, trees and flowers and bees, the planets and all these things, rivers and mountains. Okay, this whole world, prapanchasya, which is experienced by you. Prapanchasya, chetana, achetanaatmakatva, chetana, there is that, over here they have raised that hyphen. That is not required. That hyphen is not, should not be there. Those who want to correct it, please correct. Chetanaatmakatvad, Atmanaha Chetana Rupatva. Now, how do you see this world? You see this world as world of sentient beings and inert objects. Do you don't see the sentiency? And that is how you see this world. You call the world is Sthavara Jangama. You call this world of living and non-living elements, the stones and bricks, you call as non-living, whereas right from the trees and unicellular organisms to a complex organism like human beings, you are calling them as living beings. So Chetana, conscious beings, as well as the inert objects. This is what is constituting your world. And Atma means that what is Chetana, and Anatma is that what is Jada, Achetana. Thus, we are not saying anything, we are not providing you any new information. We are simply translating your experience in our words. We are framing your experience in our words. Why are you doing that? So that you yourself will have the clarity. You know, Maharaj Shri in Vrindavan, when people would ask questions in satsang, Maharajji's habit was that he would reframe the question for the questioner. And he would ask, is this what you have to ask? And the reframed question itself would be so clear that even the questioner became very clear about the question that he had to ask. So therefore, now over here, your anubhava, your experience about the world is that the world is of living and non-living objects, living organisms, be them human beings, animals, bees, insects, hmm, or even bacteria, some sort of a microbe, or it can be anything like right from the viruses to the buildings and towers and rivers and oceans, you see, and the galaxies. So this is Chetana, Achetanaatmakatva, one thing, one reason. Let the world be of living and non-living. But why are you categorizing Atma under the Prapancha? So he says, Atmanaha Chetana Rupatvad. And because, why? Because Atma is Chetana Rup. Now, this is the first answer. The second answer is more Siddhantika. The first answer is only Anuvada of your Anubhava. It is only translating your experience or framing your experience in his words. But the second answer is the answer given by the Upanishad. So your query can be quelled even through you bringing into focus your experience. How can Atma be brought under the category of Prapancha? Hmm? Then this person must have heard somewhere. Atmanaha prapanchatitasya. That is, Atma is prapanchatita. Atita means transcends. Since the Atma transcends the Anatma, that means now he has he has an idea that Atma transcends Anatma means Atma is different from Anatma. Like the book is different from the pen. Like this computer is different from this table. Like that, there are. So the questioner has this thing. So now that he has some idea that atitatvam, that Atma is atita, prapancha atita. Beyond this prapancha, it has to be beyond. Like how these people also have got this idea that inner self. Inner self means this fellow now it is said that pratyagatma, Parmeshwara. How is Parmeshwara? The pratyagatma of the very seeker. Now this fellow goes in search of Atma. Inner, inner, inner. Still inner, still inner. No, inner means it's not how you see inner. And so also when it is said beyond means what beyond? Oh, these words are kind of then they some people we people build certain concepts and they are very funny, amusing. Inner Atma, beyond Prapancha. Beyond Prapancha means what? Eh, So now over here, transcends the Prapancha is made very clear. Look at this. This is very beautiful. Atmanam vida prapanchasya abhava. What is the second reason? Atmanam vida. Without this Atma, what happens to the Prapancha? That the Prapancha.
No existence for Prapancha.
No existence for Prapancha at all. Hey, something is very much because of which that object is gaining existence. How then will you say that the object, that whatever it is that is giving existence is beyond? So what he has said, is the student has asked the question is not a wrong question. Panchatitasya atmanaha. है ना? He is very much correct. Though he is correct, but he's partially correct. Why is he partially correct? Why is he partially correct? Because Atma, this is how Atma will be revealed through Anvaya and Vyatireka. Now, please tell us, is clay the pot? You're going to say, of course, clay is the pot. And then another sentence, pot is clay. And so you see that both the sentences to you at this point are almost meaning the same thing. Pot is the clay and clay is the pot. Now our question is, there is someone who does not know clay. How will you make that person understand what is clay? Then you say, do you see this pot? Do you do you have to destroy the pot in order to understand the clay, to know the clay? Will you have to destroy the pot? No need. So then, in order for you to make that person understand what is clay, you take the pot and give in his hand and say, "This is clay." He says, "This is a pot. I want to see the clay." Show me the clay. And this is clay. He says, "This is pot. Show me clay." Hmm. So now he has to understand the clay. And therefore, there is a distinction. At the same time, he was told that you know what is clay? Clay is something that transcends the pot. Clay is something that is beyond the pot. He said, "This is pot, but I want to see the clay which is beyond the pot." How will you take him beyond the pot, huh, to see the clay? So now, hey, you see, he is told, if the pot is destroyed, does the clay gets destroyed? So obviously the pot gets destroyed, the clay does not get destroyed. Then the same object is shown. You have found two objects, one that is destructible, the other one which is not destructible. You understand? One is what is destructible? The pot has a date of manufacturing and it also has a date of destruction. So pot is something that is subject to creation and destruction. Did you create the clay? Parmeshwara has done Tasmadvaya, Tasmad and all. We're not going that far, okay? Over here. Did you create the clay or the pot maker created the clay? No. And so what is there is that there is, we have found that the pot which is destructible and the clay which is not destructible. And so obviously you have two different categories, two different things, destructible and the indestructible. And then at the same time, you are pointing out to the same object, calling one as same object as destructible as well as indestructible. You see, same thing. This is clay, this is pot. And therefore, now you understand that without the clay, the pot does not have any existence at all. And therefore, even when you have to see the clay, you will see the clay pot, but now your understanding goes beyond the name and form, drops the name and form, and appreciates that which gives existence to the name and form. Pot is a name, pot is a particular form, and that name and that form has a function. Okay, it has its own attributes, a small pot, big pot, mm, good round pot, an ugly shaped pot, whatever. Mm. And then these are the pots. So now, at simultaneously, at the same time, Yugapat, this Atma is in the world as well as beyond the world. In the world, like the clay is in the pot, but is beyond the pot. Okay? Like that, prapancha, atmanam vina, prapanchasya abhavat, atmanaha prapanchantar bhavo vaktavyaha. And therefore, now over here, his query was, since Atma is beyond the prapancha, how have you said that Atma is in the prapancha? You understand? He has heard that Atma he transcends the name and form. Okay? All the names and forms. But you are saying that the world, which is a big congregation of names and forms, in that one is Atma, the other is Anatma. How then that which is Prapanchatita is brought in the Prapancha? And our answer is in the same way, just the same way in which you say clay is in the pot. Okay? Clay is in the pot. Another sentence can be the pot is in the clay. But do you don't say where is clay in the pot? Like that, prapanchasya atmanam vina prapanchasya bhavad atmanaha prapanchantar bhavo bhavyah. Now, do you understand the question is answered, and it is answered in two ways. One is showing, framing your own experience that the world is, how is this world? Consisting of sentient and insentient beings, sentient beings and insentient objects. This is how you see the world. And that sentience, consciousness, awareness is what belongs to Atma. So over here only you are seeing Atma. And second one is giving you more clarity. Though this you see the world, but the world does not have any independent existence apart from Atma. Atmanam vina panchasya bhavad atmanaha panchantar bhavo vaktavyaha eva. And that evakar means thus. Indeed, it has to be said like that. So now you are saying that Atma is Chetan, conscious. Okay? The self is a conscious being, is the conscious being, is that is what you have said. Tarhi Chetanam. Kim Chetanam Kim iti chet. Now, obviously, that the answer has led to another question. And that question is, what is Chetana and what is Achet? What is this consciousness, or what is the conscious being? How do you define the conscious being? And what do you call as insentient or jada, inert? Chetanam kim, Achetanam kim? Iti chet, if this is your question, now let us begin from where one can understand. What do you generally call? What do the people, anybody of us, when do you call that the person is living or conscious? What is it that is required for you to say that this person is living? Otherwise, you can declare him to be dead.
Prana.
Prana.
Right. Meaning what? Meaning what? Prana means, what do you see? That the person should
Movement.
be breathing, right? Right? And that breath means there is a movement.
Movement.
So that wherever you are going to see, otherwise there is movement even in the fan. Okay, this fan keeps moving on the head. On the head means not on my head. Okay, onto the ceiling. Then you see this, the fan is moving. You know, back in our days, we had one library, bookstore keep this thing, a librarian. Okay, and somehow all the brahmacharis used to make fun of him a lot. In one of the ashrams that I lived, and for no reason, this poor fellow was such a papa. All he was the butt of our talks. So I used to say, no, the rest of the people when they feel hot, they switch the fan on, and then fan rotates and they feel cool. But our librarian, when he feels hot, he sits under the fan and he rotates. So, Jangama, Ajangama. So, wherever you are going to see the movement, you say it is something that is living. Okay. Otherwise, you go to all these museums, Royal Tiger of Bengal, all stuffed, taxidermied. And, if that Royal Tiger of Bengal was to stand in front of you like that, huh, one will also become yellow. And but now you're seeing, and photo bhi nikal raha hai, and painting and all that. Okay, pose maar raha hai. Why? Because it is Achetanam. So what is it that you call as Chetana and Achetana? Is Jangamam Sarvam Chetanam. Your basic understanding about Chetana is that something that is Jangama, means which moves. Jangama. In Karnataka, you have the Jangam people, right? And they're called Jangam
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
huh?
Because they wear that lingam.
Because the Shivalinga that they worship, they wear it in their necklace. And wherever they go, from Bangalore to Mysore to Bombay to everywhere, that Shivalinga goes with them. It is only during the puja that they unlock it and worship. Afterwards, they put it back into that thing and screw it. What do they say? It's some bottle-like thing. Put it back. Jangama, because the Shivalingam moves along with them. So that which is Jangama, which means there wherever there is movement, you call that as Chetana. Okay. So as long as you see the person's chest is heaving a little bit, even little bit, huh? Even a faint sign of movement is there. There you say he's still living, still living. Okay, Jangamam Sarvam Chetanam. Whatever is Jangama is conscious being. Now, Sarvam Chetanam. Sthavaram Sarvam Chetanam. That which does not have any movement. This is our basic, very, very, very rudimentary definition. Okay? It's a very rudimentary definition. That which is achetanam, that which is thavaram is achetanam. Okay? Now, tarhi chetananam achetananam cha pratyekam bahu prakaratvat katham viprakara eva prapancha iti chet. Sir, even when you say conscious being, no, there are millions and millions, right from a small microbe to the human population. Now, if you really have to count, it will become difficult at how many microbes to how. At least you have some little idea about the human population, but about the other animals, birds, insects, and microbes, do you have a count of them? Innumerable conscious beings are there, and innumerable inert objects are there, correct? Innumerable. When both of these are innumerable, then based on which authority did you say that the prapancha is only of two types? Because every one is his own type. You're not going to find another carbon copy. One day I met some person and he answered very, we were very, what do they call? Hajar Jawabi. That was the English presence of mind. I said, sorry, you're very kind. He took the compliment. uh, and he said, no, 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 I'm the one of my kind. I'm one of my kind. So there is no other. So how many kinds you have asked? Then everybody will be his own kind. Because even every street dog has his own personality. So therefore, how can you say the prapancha is only of two types? Because conscious beings and unconscious objects, all of them, each one is his own type. How do you say? For bahu prakaratvat, katham dviprakaraha eva prapancha iti chet? If this is your question, shrunu, listen. Anatma eka eva. Okay. स कार्यरूपेण अनेकरूपो अभूत. Anatma is also just one, but Karya as cause in the causal state is one, but as the effect appears many, becomes not appears, becomes many. Okay, so Anatma bhi eka. So Anatma bhi is also one and becomes many. कार्य रूपेण अनेक रूपो अभूत आत्मा च एक रूपः एव. So also is the case with this conscious being. Atma is also one only. So Atma also becomes many, does not become many, but what happens? Appears to be many. Okay? Atma is one, but does not become many. Then how do you explain the manyness of Atma? And that explanation is through just one word, appears to be many. Got it? Like if you go to this house of illusions, have you ever been? Uh, that there are mirrors all over, and mirrors all over. So you look into those mirrors, and your own pratibimba, image, reflection is innumerable, is innumerable. How? Though one yet appears to be many. Why does he appear to be many? Because there are many mirrors. Because there are many mirrors. But what is mirror basically? Just glass with mercury, you know, or painted at the back of the glass. So that is glass. So glass as such is just one thing. Okay, glass is just one thing. But Karya Rupena has become many, and therefore glasses, mirrors are many. But what has happened to Atma, though you are one, yet appear to be many? How do you appear to be many? Because of the medium. So upadhi, this condition is there. What is the condition under which you become many? Many mirrors. This is the condition. This condition, let us call it as upadhi. Let us call it as upadhi. We are going to see the definitions of words upadhi, lakshana, everything. But presently, just this much is good. Upadhi means that condition. Okay, Atma cha ek rupaha eva. So also Atma is one alone. Eva. Indeed. Evakar. So the possibility of having many Atmas is already given. Oh, Swamiji, we thought there are many Atmas, Uli Bhatki Atmas in Khandahar and all that they live, Atma is one only. Then, sir, what happens? How is this multiplicity seen? Many people, many beings, many living beings. How? Sopi anatmakaryopahi bhi अनेक जीवाः इति अनेक ईश्वराः इति च भाति. Oof. So this Atma, because of anatma karyopathi, anatma karya, how is the karyam of anatma? Many. Okay. Karya rupena bahubhavati. So now aneka rupo abhut, who anatma, karya rupena. So this anatma karya becomes the condition. Anatma karya becomes the condition, upadhi. And because of these upadhis, many conditions, like many mirrors, Atma also becomes many. And how is the manyness of Atma? As many Jivas, and Ishvara also as many. But we always thought Ishvara is one only. We will see that. Anekeshwaraha iti cha bhati. And that's why even, why we have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and Trinity, not Trinity of Holy Father and all that. How Trinity means over here, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Abhi, how is it possible that you have many gods? Very well. Why wouldn't we? If you Jivas can be many, what is wrong? Upadhi Bheda. Because of what? Because of different upadhis. It is possible. Okay? That's why Rama and Shiva is one. And yet Rama worships Shiva in one place and Shiva worships Rama in another place. So that's why we have this word temple also Rameshwar. So if you look at the word Rameshwara, one compound will allow you to understand Ramasya Ishvaraha. The one who is the master Swami of Rama. And then another compound allows you to say, Ramaha yasya Ishvaraha Saha. He is whose God, master is Rama. He is called as Rameshwara. Two. Now that's why there is possibility. Now these Vaishnavas and Shaivas will fight. Who is Rameshwara? Means Rama is, Vaishnavas will say, of course it means Shiva, but what does it mean? Ramasya is, no. Rama is the God of this. Shiva worships Rama, and therefore Rama yasya Ishvaraha Saha. And on the other hand, the Shaivas will say, what nonsense? Worshipping Shiva, and therefore Ramasya Ishvaraha. And so let us fight. And now what will be the Nirnayaka of these? That he who is more powerful and more in number is right. Huh? So then there comes yet another, and he who is Rama is Shiva, and he who is Shiva is Rama. You understand? But why is this possible that there is at one end the same one is called as Rama and other end he is called as Shiva? Upadhi Vedan. So we have no Hindus, we don't have any problem. Even when we are going to have many gods, no problem at all. No problem. And yet you may be worshipping many, and you know it is one. Otherwise, for people, polytheism and monotheism are like opposites. Over here, there is nothing like polytheism and monotheism. There can be many. You can worship Rama, and you can still worship Shiva, but that does not make you any disloyal to Rama or Shiva. You see, it does not create any uh, disloyalty. It's same very much. In Vairagya Shataka, Bhartrihari, if you have heard that, but Vairagya Shataka, there is one, right? In the beginning only. He says that we know that Shiva and Vishnu is one and the same. Yet, what to do? My mind is drawn towards the one who has a crescent moon on the forehead. He is Shiva Bhakta, Bhartrahari. He says that we know eh, Paramatma is one, yet I'm drawn to this form where there is crescent moon on the forehead. क्या है श्लोक तुम्हें याद है वो? हम्म हम्म ओके ओके सो नाउ सोपि अनात्म कार्योपाधि भी अनेक जीवाः इति अनेकेश्वराः इति च Ati is seen, is experienced as many. Now the next topic is ekasya anekata. How is the one seen as many? Though he has given you very clear idea. What is the question from where we have moved? How? Because there is multiplicity of Atma, many Atmas, and there is multiplicity even of Anatma. But then when we had asked you the question, what is this prapancha? In that you said the prapancha is just two types, twofold, Atma and Anatma. What has allowed you to do this? Over here he says Atma, Anatma Karya Rupena Anek, and Atma. How is Atma? Anatma Karya Upadhi Bhihi. It is through Anatma Karya becomes the Upadhi, becomes the, because of which now Atma appears to be many. And how does he appears many? As many jivas and also many Ishwaras, many gods. Iti. So now, when this is said, what do you think should be the next question? Actually, you are going to ask a question. Ishwara means only one. And if there is going to be a parallel authority, then both of them cannot be called as Ishwara. This is the problem. Where they have one God and one devil. Both of them are claiming parallel authorities. And so both of them are keen on wanting to win. Winning or losing, that battle is possible only if you are both standing on the same ground. So it means if both of you are still fighting to show who is powerful, that means the nirnaya, the judgment one has not reached the judgment that God alone is all powerful, omnipotent. And therefore, he who is not omnipotent cannot be even called as God. He who is not Sarvajna Sarvashakti is not God then. You understand the problem there? So actually, those who are saying that we believe in God and all are godless then, because the God is itself is yet not, who is God is not yet decided, because there is a parallel authority. Poor people are deprived of God only then. And if God is powerful, why is he not defeating this devil and sending him away? And we are made to fight the devil. Uh-huh. If you both people have the problem about proving your authority, it is a war between both of you. Why are you crushing us in between? Then what? And then he who does not believe in God then goes to hell. Okay? You yourself have not proven yourself to be all powerful to drive this fellow, chase him out, or finish him, and then you are cursing us to go to hell. What a joke you are playing. Huh? That becomes difficult. So now necessarily Ishvara means one. Ishvara means one. Then you have said many Ishvaras, Are bhai, many gods. You have Panchadevata Upasana also for everybody, for Grihasthas especially. You should have this Panchayatana Pujanam. You know this, right? This is our tradition. What is the Panchayatanam? Panchayatanam means these are the five forms of Parameshwara Shiva, Shakti, Vishnu, Ganesha, and
Surya, Surya.
Surya. This is how it should be worshipped. And let me tell you that the puja in your house of a grihastha, what is to be worshipped should be just that can stay on your palm. So these are the five um, symbols that are given to you by the Shastra that can be worshipped as Swayambhu Devatas. These five. And in Vishnu, Krishna, Ram, Keshava, Varaha, all can be worshipped there in that. And in Shiva Banalinga, you can worship Dakshinamurti, Nataraj, uh, then Umapati, Mrityunjay, Bhairava, everything can be worshipped there in this one form. So what happens is that now Swayambhu Shivalinga means the stone which comes from the Narmada. You get those, they are naturally round because of millions of years of them, the what they're turning into the bed of the river and then they come to the shore, the small round like Jyoti. So that is called as the Banalinga, Swayam.
Mananam.
Huh? Banalinga.
Yeah.
That Bana is Swayambhu Shiva. Then the Shila, the stone which comes from Gandaki, is Shalagrama Shila. So Shalagrama is Swayambhu Narayan, Vishnu. Okay. Then the stone which comes from Shonan river. Shon is something, the river that comes from Nepal through Bihar and meets Ganga. That's Shon. I don't know where exactly it originates, but meets Ganga in Bihar. So that Shona, that the stone is also called as Shona. It is red in color. That is Swayambhu Ganesh. And the stone of mercury ore, from where mercury is extracted, Parad Kapattar, is Ambika Shakti. And Sphatika, the naturally found crystal, the natural, okay, not made in factories, is called as Surya. So small of these are to be worshipped. Shiva, Shakti, Ganesha, Vishnu, and Sphatika, Swayambhu. That's all that you require in your puja for everyone. And that's why you have Panchayatana Puja. Ekasya Ishwarasya Jivavat. So there is no now who is greater, Shiva or Vishnu? Wherever your tradition takes you to worship Vishnu as Krishna or Rama or Adivaraha or whatever, worship it that way. That is your tradition. Okay. So Ekasya Ishwarasya Jivavat Katham Anekatvam. And therefore, the naturally Ishvara means he who is one. How does then this Ishvara also have Anekatvam? Aneka Ishvaraha. How is it possible? In case of Jivas, we can understand that Jivas are many. How is it possible? Katham Anekatvam iti ched. Then here it says, Punyakshetreshu. Now this is how he begins. You see, it is a very beautiful text. He actually takes you from our level of understanding to then the Siddhantik. Okay? Punyakshetreshu, Grameshu, Graheshu cha, Shiva Vishnavadi Murti Bhedena Sthitatvad iti. Maha. He says, Punyakshetreshu, in these holy shrines, or in the villages and your own village or towns, you have temples, and at your home also, you have your own deities, the gods are kept there. Shiva, Vishnu, Adi Murti Bhedena, and even in your home also, there is one is that Bana is called as Shiva, the Gandaki Shila is called as Vishnu, so on and Murti Bhedena Sthitatvat, because this Ishvara is in all these different forms, in different places, whether it is Punyakshetra or your own home. Grameshu Graheshu Shiva Vishnavadi Murti Bhedena Sthitatvad iti Prumaha. Really? Then what the question is, Mritshiladi Rupanam Tasam Murtinam Katham Ishwaratvam. So naturally now, you are going to ask a question. These are Mritshila, like the deities created from the clay and the stone. How can it have, how can you call them as what? God?
Yeah, they are Achetana.
Katham Huh?
They are Achetana, actually, the stone.
Huh? But not only that they are Chetan, you are calling them Ishvara also. You see? Katham Ishwaratvam, this is the question. And we'll deal with this when we meet next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat
Purnam
Purnamudachyate
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Bhadaram Sutra Bhashavatam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadev.